What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Hbar's price has made a move that has finally validated what we were hoping would happen and what we've been on the lookout for over the last few weeks. And so because of that, I want to give you an update letting you know what just happened, why it's so important, and what I'm doing as a result of it. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. And guys, don't forget, if you do want to start trading on up to 500x leverage on things like Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, Pepe, and many more, you can check out that BTCC link down below. If you sign up to BTCC specifically using my link, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on your first time deposit between $500 and $100,000. This means if you deposit, say, $3,000, they're going to give you $300 right then on the spot to start trading with. And whatever profit you make from that is completely yours, no strings attached. You can reinvest it, withdraw it, do whatever you want with it. It's a great opportunity to make literally free gains during the bull market. So if that is something that interests you, go check out that platform down below. It's a great trading platform. I use it all the time myself, so feel free to check it out and let me know what you think. So before we talk about the move that Hbar made right here, let me give you a little bit of a recap of what we've been looking at so you can understand why this is so important. So of course, what you all know is that our current mission with Hbar is for it to clear this golden zone. The golden Fibonacci ratio is the most important ratio on the Fibonacci's, at least in my opinion. And historically speaking, if, well, we can see this golden box broken, I think a beautiful move for Hbar is on the way. History says that when a crypto is capable of breaking this golden zone, it opens up the door for it to be able to not only push to the previous high, but even past the previous high and push up to what are called Fibonacci extension levels, or quite simply areas in which the price could extend up to. Put very simply, what this means is that if Hbar can clear this little golden level right here, it should be able to see a long-term more macro push to anywhere from $1.30 to $3.40. And so obviously, knowing that we are now in the golden zone and we're in a spot where we might break the golden zone, well, you know, we probably should watch this golden zone very closely. So over the last week or two, we have just been paying attention to how Hbar has been moving, watching very closely to see if we could pick up on any signs of, you know, resistance or support or structure or liquidity. What could we notice? And well, we started to notice something very good. What we started to notice from Hbar was that its price was creating what I thought was a descending parallel channel. As its price was right here, I said, if we see, or it was a little bit higher, it was right here. I said, if we see Hbar's price come back down into this green zone, we are going to validate that this is very likely a golden or a descending parallel channel. You can kind of just start to assume it just because, of course, we did see these rather equivalent highs, high number one, high number two, and when you draw in that parallel channel from the two, it created this support down here, which is a level in which we saw Hbar's price hit 3 or 4 times. So although we weren't 1,000,000% sure that this is the structure it was making, and it very well might have just continued downwards and not made this, we had a decent sized chance that we were going to make that structure. And so what we did as a result was we started buying. You all know that my strategy is to purchase in descending channels when we're in this green box. This green box is the best time to be buying. This is typically 25 to 30% of the bottom of the channel, and this is the best time to purchase. There are okay purchases that you can make in the gray zone, and I do a little bit of buying here, but the majority of my purchases come in this green box, and so that's what we did here. We did a little bit of buying right here, we did a little bit of buying right here, and on the back test there, all three of which are now up in profit. Roughly, let's go ahead and just assume it's an average of about 13 to 14%. So those of you who did get in, major congratulations to you. And while that takes us into, well, today, where Hbar's price is pushing upwards, giving us a very, very, very good sign here. Even though its price is kind of struggling to maintain this move towards the upside, what we are seeing at this moment is actually very good. It validates that this is the structure we're creating. So I wanted to talk a little bit now about what happens now that we have seen this structure validated, what you need to be on the lookout for next, what I'm doing now, and much more. So now that you have a bit of a recap as to what's been going on, let's shift a little bit forward into the next part of the video where we talk about what's happening now. And look, I will give you a little bit of a warning as we go into the next portion of the video that things may get a little bit complicated here, especially if you are a little new or if you're more advanced, but you're just trying to add some of these tools to your toolbox. And so all that I suggest and all that I will tell you, if you are someone who's trying to get better at this whole crypto thing and these things get a little complicated or confusing, is just to stick around to the end of the video. At the end of the video, we'll have gone through things much more thoroughly, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Discord community that we are seeing people generating hundreds of percentages and gains in every single day as a result of all the workshops, live streams, classes, and more. So again, if you're one of those people who's just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, all that I ask from you, just stick around until the end of the video. So as I mentioned before, now that you have a good understanding of how we got here, let's talk about what happens now. Well, a couple things have happened that have validated the fact that this is a descending parallel channel, at least in my opinion. Okay, first and foremost, the fact that we did see support held here and we pushed upwards. Because remember, we had this support laid out well before it came here. So the fact that it came down here after we laid it out and then pushed upwards is a good sign that we're right on that. The second thing is the fact that we've now seen rejections at two major majorly important levels of a descending parallel channel. What you have to understand with descending parallel channels is that every 25% is very important. And so let me show you what that means. So of course, when you have a parallel channel, you have the top. Oh wait, let me do this like that. There we go. You have the top, you have the bottom. Now, in between the top and the bottom, obviously, you have the 50% threshold. This is halfway between the top and the bottom. Now, in between the 50% threshold and the top, you have, of course, the 75% threshold. In between the 50% threshold and the bottom, you have the 25% threshold. And each one of these levels is going to serve as a very important level of resistance or support. And you can validate that you're in a descending channel if you start to see that happen. And that's exactly what we're seeing from Hbar. Look at how its price pushed back up towards the upside and hit, look, this is the 50. Let me just draw it out. This is the 50. This is the 75, this is the 25, this is the 0, this is the 100, okay? So do you see how we came up towards the 50 after bouncing off the 0, and we got rejected here for a little bit. Boom, we got rejected. We put in what does look a lot to me like a cup and handle pattern, but we'll get into that another day. Putting in a cup and handle pattern, break up through this 50% threshold, came up immediately to the 75% threshold and is now getting rejected. Once you start interacting with these different levels like that, that's a clear and obvious sign that you are definitely in a descending channel. And so just based off of those two things alone, plus the fact that we did hold support, plus the fact that we did, of course, create this channel off two highs that then created these zones way in advance, I would go ahead and say it is now validated that we are in a bullish parallel descending channel. Now, you may wonder, well, what's the big deal? Who cares if we're on a descending channel? Who cares if it's parallel? Who cares? The reason I believe that it's so important is because descending parallel channels have, from what I have studied, an 80 to 85% chance of breaking to the upside. What this means is that over time, it is very likely that we see Hbar's price, maybe not right now, but maybe, eventually or in a few weeks or so, break through the top side of this descending parallel channel. The very fun part about it is that once these descending parallel channels are broken out of, what you can do is you can draw your Fibonacci from the top of the channel to the lowest point you were in at the channel, and that's actually going to give you your breakout targets from the channel. So what this tells us is that if we see Hbar's price break out right here, for example, that opens up the door for it to push up to its 1.618 fib extension all the way up to 54 cents. Meaning that right now, if we see Hbar's price break up, we very well might see this bad boy push up 51% over the long term. It's not going to be immediate, but it is very possible that we do see it over time. I mean, just look at what we saw from Sweet, right? Descending parallel channel. Look at this. Descending parallel channel, breakout backtest, all the way up to that fib extension. Look at Pepe, for example. Descending parallel channel, breakout backtest, all the way up to its fib extensions. So this is why I get so excited, because I mean, these are just two very good examples of when this has happened. It is very good. You like to see when things like this happen. And so the fact that we're now seeing those early signs of it from Hbar are very good in the sense that we may get that macro move to the upside. Now, through this video, you may have forgot what the primary goal was. You remember in the beginning, I told you we have one goal. There's one focus, and that focus is actually this gold box. And do you notice that if Hbar's price breaks out of this and does push up towards, say, 50 cents, we have now officially broken the gold box? And if we do that, what's the breakout target? You remember? It's all the way back up between $1 and 30 cents, all the way to what could be $3.42. And so, of course, yes, us pushing up to 50 cents is very cool. Breaking out of this and pushing to 50 cents is cool. That's great in the short term, but you got to remember the long-term picture here is that if we're capable of doing that, we now officially open the door for Hbar's price to push to $1.30 plus. That's way cooler. And so because of that, that's why I am so excited about this. That's why I do think it's such a good thing, and that's why I am so optimistic. And my strategy is honestly very simple. It's the same strategy I implement on every descending channel. I don't purchase while we're in the top 50%. The reason being is there's just too much resistance. There's 75% resistance, there's 100% resistance, there's Fibonacci resistance, there's just too much resistance. I'm not buying. I'm just waiting to see if we break out. If we break out, I'll start making moves on that breakout, but I don't really do anything while we're in the top 50%. If Hbar's price does roll back into the gray box, I do a little bit of buying. If it rolls back into the green box, I do a lot of buying. It's that simple. That's why I love descending channels so much, because they're the easiest thing to understand. Buy at the bottom, don't buy at the top, wait for the breakout, because when the breakout happens, we're probably going to see a lot of gains. Super duper easy. And so with that in mind, of course, as this all does play out, you guys know I'll be here updating you along the way, but what I really want you to pay attention to is how it interacts with each one of these levels. Draw on your 100%, draw on your 0%, draw on your 75s, your 25s, and your 50s, and watch these interactions, because as we do see it bouncing and moving and continuing, it's going to be consistently trying to build up a foundation to use to eventually break out of here, and this is the goal. The goal is to break out of this descending channel, and it's making good progress. So of course, watch it very closely as we do start getting closer and closer to the breakout. In the next video, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the strategy that I'm using and some of the more indicators that we're seeing that are giving us some good signs that the breakout actually could be on the way soon. So make sure you do stay tuned for tomorrow's video when we dive a little bit deeper into the RSI, the MACD, the Bollinger Band Stochastic, and the other ones to get a good idea of if we are about to break out of this sometime soon. And of course, I'll go over that with you, probably sometime tomorrow. So for now, in the meantime, watch it very closely. Watch it as it is interacting with these key levels of resistance and support, and do stay tuned again for tomorrow's video. Now, if you're someone who's just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, I highly recommend you joining the Discord server. Okay, guys, in the Discord server, what you're going to get are insights with Tyler, which are my thoughts and insights, some of the things that I'm buying and selling, some moves I'm making in my portfolio, and much more. For example, on the 9th, in that huge dip, we were buying all of these different cryptos, and all of them are up 20 to 30% now. We have exclusive live shows every single day. We have daily technical analysis reports that get released on the same cryptos I make videos about, daily fundamental analysis reports on the market itself. I have 2 teams of professional traders who post their buy and sell alerts every single day, and you need to think, these are people who live off of trading. These are professional trade teams, and they're giving you their buy and sell signals, which is absolutely insane. We have premium classes on things like bull market investing, the Fibonacci's, the Bollinger Bands. We have beginners courses on things like leverage trading and technical analysis for beginners, and many more of these releasing. These are 30-minute long, 20-page presentation, vocabulary sheet, cheat sheet presentation. I mean, we got so much going on in these technical analysis and leverage trading for beginners courses. You got to check those out. We have these 2 to 3 minute long videos called Tips with Tyler, where we just go over random stuff, and you can pause it to see what sort of videos there are there. And all these things combined are generating the community hundreds of percentages and gains every single day, quite simply because people are using these lessons to turn them into strategies, taking those strategies and turning them into real life profits and gains. Look at this guy yesterday, putting in multiple trades at over 100% gains on ICP. Absolutely insane stuff. So if you do want access to this, head down to the Patreon link down below, guys. It's the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper. It's either $17 a month or $5 a month. And I think that is a crazy good deal. And we actually have one more tier up releasing on Monday, so do stay tuned for that. But go feel free to check that out down below. I do think it's a very, very good deal, and it has clearly helped hundreds of people elevate. We're currently at 729 members just in the last month. So if you do want to join that, check that link out down below. Don't forget, guys, we post 6, 7, 8 videos here on the channel every single day. So if you have been enjoying them, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.